So that's a part of agenda. So much further ado, let's start with. So to understand security, let's see what are the latest trend at security as of today. Some of the source of semantic corporations gives a statistic that a target of attack has been increased from 2012 to 2013, almost like 42%. And so that is the range of percentage of increase of attack. That is the study done from 11 to 12. And it also shows that there is a 40% increase in hackers-based attack and hackers trying to, data breach and so on. So giving that as a statistic, it also gives you some more information of the graph. You can see it on below, where attacker is able to target an applications in various stages and start attacking. So the graph below shows it how many of attackers are targeting per month and what is a range of attacks takes place per month and so on. And you can also see that is targeted attacks takes place in the month of June in 2012 was almost like 270. So that's the base of attacks which has been targeted. And the other statistic also says is the major percent of attack is basically target on web-based attack, and that is when compared to 2011 and 12, it is almost like a 30% increase in attack. And we know that most of them are today using a web in a very heavily based manner. So having this attack in increasing manner shows very clear trend saying that security plays very important role. Looking at various trend of attack that happened in 2012, you can see here the size of a ball shows that an impact that has been happening, and the color notation of an attack shows that a type of an attack which has taken place, and this is a grayscale of 2012. And you see that from the grayscale we see various attacks like access injection, DDoS attacks, okay, and phishing are very, very common base of attack, and of course SQL injection, which is happening everywhere. And the ball inside also gives you a kind of a trend which is at what kind of domain they are, and you can also see most of SQL injection happening in online services and so on, and a major kind of DDoS attack happening in terms of banking sectors, and this is spread throughout the here. So this statistic and data which clearly says that attacks are increasing, and we need to govern our product as early as possible, and we need to govern it as high as possible in order to make the product secure. Some of the history, if you look at it in terms of security, also shows there is an exponential increase in terms of vulnerability, and exponential increase of cumulative vulnerability of all kinds. So this is a study which has been made by IBM, which clearly shows there is an exponential increase in vulnerability starting from 1996 to 2012, which gives very clear trend that in today's world, security plays very important, and making them to protect should be our base, and it should be in terms of our basic life cycle of culture. To understand more, like what would have been a security hack might be, or what kind of attack might impact it and so on, let's see some few of enlightening case studies. So these are some of the case study in terms of social engineering. So I don't want to be more specific like what domain. Our more interesting area is what is a hack all about, and what is a loss, and how can we protect it and so on. So this is one of the social engineering site where they had an impact on June 2012, which gave them a loss of 6.5 million records, costing more than $1 million. Okay, and the issue here was predicted as a password was hacked, and it was able to get into a breach. We also have one more case at July 2012, where more than 450K records been compromised, and the cost is estimated greater than 1 million, but there is no regular picture of a cost. And this is also a case where password is stolen, and basically it's a kind of vulnerability of what is called SQL injection. We'll also see a quick view of what is this injection, how do you classify this vectors all about. There is also one more interesting case recently happened in April 2013. The account which was hacked was, one sec. Account which was hacked was just one account, and it had, a major impact. And the issue is a password stolen, especially in terms of using phishing. To know what is the cost, let's see what exactly happened in this case. So an account was hacked, and breaking news was published saying that two exploits explosive in the White House, and Barack Obama was injured. This was a message which the hacker placed it on that, and the result of that had very huge impact. And this is again a shot which was taken from internet, which clearly says White House had been bombed. That was a message. This message caused a temporary of 200 billion drop in US stock market. So it's not a question of a record, it's not a question of account, it's a question of huge amount of trust that has been there in a system that will be broken when we have such kind of hack, and that very clearly shows the claim to have security in high bar. So having social engineering, talking about a sector like finance and e-commerce, so there the impact will be very huge, and the importance is more up to the mark. So there was a similar case in April 2001 where 20 million records were breached, and it really cost more than $1 million, and the impact are still there. And this is purely on a data breach where we are not supposed to share some data, or not supposed to use the data in a different manner. That was clearly breached. There was also a case in March 2011 where 40 million records were lost, and the cost was more than $66 million. And this was again a case where password stolen with an SQL injection. And there was recently one more case in 2012 March where 1.5 million credit card data was stolen, which cost them a huge amount of impact. And this was basically an admin account was hacked, and they were able to breach it. So the significance of this attack, you can see a snapshot here. The firm immediately lost PCIDSS certification, that is immediate action taken, and had approximately a huge amount of dollar value loss. And this breach also caused them to lose their coming up business and so on. So from this factors of data and from this factor of numbers, it's very clear that by having a security hack or a kind of security breach, or where you are diverting from the security, or you are not being securely bound, which not only gives you a loss to your product, it also gives you a loss in terms of a major to a company, and it will have a twofold impact. The impact number one, it will be that a project or a product where you are using it, that might be lost, or it is not gaining a high revenue value. Apart from that, the image or reputation of the company, or a trust that has been bonded between these companies, has been majorly lost. So when a people loses a trust, it becomes a very huge fold, which will have a major impact. So it gives us very clear picture that security becomes very important, and security have will give you a double-fold impact when there is a breach or a stolen or a kind of hack taking place. And to safeguard